and welcome to another Feature Hackers Misadventures in Scale Modeling Feature Friday. Today we're going to look at one of two videos I'm going to be doing on strategic bombing by the Germans during World War I. Now, first one would be about the Gotha bomber, specifically I believe it's the G.IV or G.V. Not sure. I'm going to post some pictures anyways. Now, there's only 3 kits I know of this bomber. There's the 72nd scale kit by Rodin, which I have. It's a nice kit for what it is. I haven't put it together yet, so we'll see what kind of horrors I run into that one, because Rodin has not been very good. Past kits have not been very good to build. They've been kind of awful. They can be built, but they just take a lot more work. Then there's the 48 scale kit. Now there's 2, I believe, available. There's a vacuum form version and an old Aurora kit. Both pictures I will insert into the video. Then, of course, there's the 132nd scale by Wingnut Wings that we no longer have anymore. That's a big bird, I'll tell you that. Anyways, let's get into the video and see what we got going here.
Wednesday, the 13th of June 1917 was a clear, sunny day in London. The British capital was at peace since the Zeppelin raids of the previous 2 years had ended in the second half of 1916, when new explosive and incendiary bullets fired by British fighters had made such attacks too costly to the Germans. Anti-aircraft defences had been relaxed. Then a noise grew in intensity, coming from the east, the sounds of aero engines. Londoners stood and watched. A formation of 14 noisy biplane bombers slowly hove into view over the capital, some people cheering what they took to be British aeroplanes. Suddenly, tiny black dots detached themselves from the aircraft and fell to earth. London was about to experience its first blitz, courtesy of the England G.IV and its Gotha bomber force. The difference with the Zeppelins could not be more stark. They had attacked under the cloak of darkness. The Gothas arrived over England in broad daylight. With the defeat of the Zeppelins, Germany developed a long-range strategic bomber to continue the campaign against England, the Gotha G.IV. It could fly to London and back. In March 1917, the Germans formed a special strike unit to rain death and destruction on Londoners, the England G.IV, based in Belgium and commanded by Hauptmann or Captain Ernst Brandenburg, a 33-year-old former infantry officer and pilot. No one had done this before, and in May 1917 the squadron was ready. There hadn't been any more Zeppelin raids on London since October 1916, and the British had been lulled into a false sense of security. Detached themselves from the aircraft and fell to earth.
Up here.
London was about to experience its first blitz, courtesy of the England G.IV and its Gotha bomber force. The difference with the Zeppelins could not be more stark. They had attacked under the cloak of darkness. The Gothas arrived over England in broad daylight. With the defeat of the Zeppelins, Germany developed a long-range strategic bomber to continue the campaign against England, the Gotha G.IV. It could fly to London and back. In March 1917, the Germans formed a special strike unit to rain death and destruction on Londoners, the England G.IV, based in Belgium and commanded by Hauptmann or Captain Ernst Brandenburg, a 33-year-old former infantry officer and pilot. No one had done this before, and in May 1917 the squadron was ready. there hadn't been any more Zeppelin raids on London since October 1916, and the British had been lulled into a false sense of security. The Gotha G.IV was an improved version of earlier German bombers, produced by three companies, Gotha Wagenfabrik, Siemens and LVG. Unlike earlier Gotha bombers, the G.IV.'s fuselage was fully skinned in plywood instead of fabric. It had a crew of three, a pilot, a nose gunner and a dorsal gunner, 12.2 meters or 40 feet long, with a wingspan of 23.7 meters or 77.9 feet. It weighed 3,648 kilograms, or just over 8,000 pounds loaded, and was propelled by two Daimler Mercedes D4A 260 horsepower engines, giving a maximum speed of 135 kilometers or 83 miles per hour. It could cruise for an impressive 6 hours, had a range of 810 kilometers or 506 miles, and a service ceiling of 5,000 meters or 16,400 feet. Armament consisted of a bomb load up to a maximum of 500 kilos, or 1,100 pounds of bombs, and two 7.92mm Parabellum LMG-14 machine guns. It was cheap to produce in comparison to a giant Zeppelin, faster, could fly high, and had an impressive range. Crucially, it was nowhere near as vulnerable as a hydrogen-filled airship. 232 would be built, although the peak frontline strength of 36 aircraft was achieved in June 1917. On the 25th of May 1917, the England G.IV. struck. The target was London. The force 23 Gothas. The mission code name Operation Turkenkreuz or Turkish Cross. Two aircraft turned back over the North Sea with mechanical difficulties, but the rest pressed on. But dense cloud cover obscured London, so the Gothas diverted to Folkestone and Shorncliffe on the south coast, killed 95 and injured 195 people with their bombs. 9 Royal Naval Air Service Sopwith Pup fighters rose to challenge the intruders near the Belgian coast, shooting one of them down. It was the third raid on London that was truly devastating. Wednesday, the 13th of June 1917, was the day the Blitz first came to London. As people stood in their streets watching as the 14 noisy biplanes droned overhead, Home Defence Headquarters had been alerted, and anti-aircraft guns at Romford in Essex opened fire at 11:24 a.m. Brandenburg led the formation over East London, dropping a few bombs. As the England G.IV. reached Regent's Park, Brandenburg fired a signal pistol, and the formation banked east, heading for the City of London, the heart of the capital. The Germans commenced bombing. 118 high-explosive bombs were dropped, with 72 plastering an area within 1 mile of Liverpool Street Station. One of the bombs caused carnage at Upper North Street School in Poplar, passing through 2 floors of classrooms before detonating inside the infant classroom, killing 18 children between 4 and 6 years old, with another 37 badly injured. In total, the first daylight raid on London in history caused the heaviest number of casualties of any World War I air attack. 162 people were killed and 426 injured. Casualty figures like these would not be repeated again until 1941 and Hitler's Blitz on London. In Germany, there was rejoicing at the raid, and Brandenburg received the Pour le Mérite, or Blue Max, from a gratified Kaiser. In Britain, there was widespread horror and revulsion, particularly over the deaths of young children, and outrage towards the military that failed to shoot down even one Gotha in broad daylight. The level of hatred towards Germans was particularly embarrassing for the British royal family, whose family name was Saxe-Coburg and Gotha, just like the baby killer bombers, as they were termed. In an effort to distance his family from its German origins, King George V changed the family name to Windsor, which still remains the British royal family's surname. The England G.IV.'s attacks caused Britain to beef up its anti-aircraft and fighter defences, forcing the Germans to turn to night raids, which would continue until the end of World War I. In the war's final phase, the Germans unleashed a new bomber type, the Riesenflugzeuge, or giant aircraft, the Zeppelin Starken R6, an aircraft even bigger than a World War II Avro Lancaster. But that's a story for another time. As for the Gotha bombers, they were all scrapped after the First World War. A replica is on display at the RAF Manston History Museum in England, and a cockpit reproduction at Stowe Mary's Great War Aerodrome near Malden in Essex. Many thanks for watching. Please subscribe and share, and also help support my channel at PayPal and Patreon. Details in the description box below.
Well, that was interesting. I plan to build a Gotha bomber, but not right at the moment. I do have the rodent kit though. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video for a Friday, and remember to like and subscribe to my channel, and if you wish to donate to my channel, please do it through either my Patreon page or through my PayPal. And remember, every build's an adventure, so go make it awesome, and you have a nice day.